Hello, this is Mr. Wynn, and today's video will be about the quadratic formula and the discriminant. So the equation x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a is known as the quadratic formula. You can only use it if it is in standard form, meaning y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, or 0 equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So here's number one, solve by using the quadratic formula. Well, this equation is not in standard form. Standard form requires a 0 on one side or a y. So I'm going to make the right side 0 by subtracting 11 both sides. So x squared minus 10x minus 11 equals 0. That is standard form. Now I can do the quadratic formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say what a, b, and c are. So a is 1, b is negative 10, c is negative 11. So the formula was negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We just have to fill that in. So negative b, so opposite of b, negative 10 is actually positive 10, plus or minus square root b squared put in parentheses, so negative 10 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. All right. You want to figure out what's in the square root first. So this is 10 plus or minus inside square root. You can put all in your calculator, but negative 10 squared is 100. 100 plus 44 is 144 all over 2. Alright, now once you have that single number, then you want to put in the calculator, see what it is, see if it's a nice number or not. So I'm going to go over here. Alright, so the square root of 144 is 12 all over 2. Now we have two cases here, so break it into two cases. Our first case will be 10 plus 12 over 2. And our second case will be 10 minus 12 over 2. Just do each one. So let's see, 10 plus 12 is 22, divided by 2 is 11. Those are one of our answers. 10 minus 12 is negative 2, divided by 2 is negative 1 is our other answer. Those are our two answers. The two roots, solutions, zeros, x-intercepts are 11 and negative 1. Same thing here. Use the quadratic formula. So get it in standard form by moving that negative 10. So really I have x squared minus 6x plus 10 equals 0. Figure out what a, b, and c are. So a is 1, b is negative 6, c is positive 10. And plug into the formula. This formula is on the form chart, so this one you do not have to memorize, but it's negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. We just got to fill it out. So negative b, get an opposite of b. Opposite of negative 6 is positive 6, plus or minus square root b squared. So negative 6 in parentheses squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Now a is not always 1, but be careful, put in parentheses whatever it is. Now again, I said do what's inside the square root first. So this stays there. Square root. Negative 6 squared is 36. Minus 4 times 1 is 10 is 40. 36 minus 40 is negative 4 is what's inside. Now you should know the square root of negative 4 is imaginary. So I'm going to say that's the same thing as 6 plus or minus I square root 4, but square root of 4 is 2. That's really 2i. So if that helps you, I'll do this. That's I square root of 4 over 2. And y'all know that the square root of 4 is 2. That's really 6 plus or minus 2i over 2. And if you have a fraction like this, you can divide it sometimes. Or you can just do the two cases. I'll just divide it now. So let me go with green. Let me go over here. So that's really 3 plus or minus I. That's our answer. If you want to tell me, if you want to break it up to two things, if you want to say 3 plus I is 1, and then 3 minus I is another. That's fine. But the plus or minus means there's two cases anyways. So this one has imaginary solutions. That's fine. Imaginary roots, imaginary x-intercepts. Alright, in the quadratic formula is something called the discriminant. The expression b squared minus 4ac. That thing inside the square root is the discriminant. That number can tell you right away if there are two real solutions, one real solutions, or zero real solutions. Now, if there's zero real solutions, that means there are two imaginary solutions. So those two are the same thing. And since we're going to take the square root of this number, that tells us the type of solutions. If the number is greater than 0, it means positive. For example, say it's positive 100. You know the square root of that is 10. So we're going to add 10 for one case and minus 10 for the other case. There's two different cases, two real solutions. Now, if that number is 0, square root of 0 is just 0. That means we'll be adding and subtracting 0 to in the cases, but that doesn't really change anything when you add or subtract 0. So that's only one real solution. It's not going to be different. And if the number is less than 0, for example, the square root of negative 100, you know that's the imaginary. So we'll be adding some imaginary number and then also subtracting that imaginary number to get two different imaginary answers. So if it's positive, two real solutions. If it's 0, one real solution. If it's negative, two imaginary solutions. So using that, find the value of the discriminant for each quadratic equation, then describe the number and type of roots for that equation. Now, if you solve this like normal, doing the full quadratic formula, you will get the right answer. You'll be fine. That's overkill, though. It just says find the value of the discriminant. It doesn't say solve. So I'm going to go straight to the discriminant. Discriminant was just b squared minus 4ac. Is that thing inside the square root? So b is negative 11 squared. So if it helps you, you should label a, b, c, r. So a is 7, b is negative 11, c is 5. So negative 11 squared minus 4 times a times c. So you can put that on your calculator if you want. Negative 11 squared is 121. Minus 4 times 7 times 5. That is minus, let's see, 20, 140. 140, and that turns into negative 19. Well, I'm going to be taking the square root of negative 19. The square root of negative 19 is imaginary. So that means there's going to be two imaginary solutions, or roots. Your choice. The words are the same. Alright, I could do the same thing for the next one. Again, just find the value of the discriminant. So here, for the first one, let me say the value of the discriminant was negative 19. And because that was negative, there were two imaginary roots. For b, the same idea. I don't have to do the whole problem. I don't have to solve for the roots. I just have to figure out what the value of the discriminant is and tell me the type. So a equals 1, b equals 22, c equals 121. Ooh. All right, again, discriminant, the formula was b squared minus 4ac. Again, it's whatever inside the square root sign. I just fill it out. B squared, that is 22 squared, minus 4 times a is 1, times c is 121. I'm going to use a calculator for that, so give me 1 second to get that. 22 squared is 484, minus 4 times 121 times 1 is also 484. Well, if I subtract those, I get 0. That is the discriminant. So if the number is 0, I'm not really adding or subtracting anything. That means there's only one real solution. So my discriminant, the value of discriminant was 0. And because it was 0, that means there's only one real solution. And that is it. So I'll leave you out with this practice problem. Solve that by using the quadratic formula. You should get that answer, 2 plus or minus 3i. And if you can do that, you should be fine for the quiz in class. This is Mr. Wynn. Thanks for watching. See you in class.